Just want to remind everyone that celebration of being Filipino does not end here today. We got to carry that everywhere we go. We got to carry that throughout the year.
Spark, Connect, and Empower is a movement born in San Francisco to engender love and passion for Filipino heritage and culture among Filipino Americans. In the process, connecting them and empowering them as individuals and collectively as a community.
Pinoy ako! Proud ako! Pinoy ako! Proud ako! Pinoy ako! Proud ako! Pinoy ako! Proud ako! Spark, connect, empower, Pinoy 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 ako! Listen, Phil, I'm to the next generation. Millennials, you are the future of the nation. Embrace your past, be proud of who you are. Spark, ignite your pride and curiosity. Connect with one another and with your ancestry. Empower, be the forefront of the community. Be proud of who you are. Pinay ako, taas noo, ang mamalaki ko sa buong mundo. Pinoy ako, at proud ako. I'm proud to be who I am. I'm proud to be a Pinoy. Pinoy ako, proud ako. Be proud of your race and your identity. Be vanguards of your culture and heritage you'll see. Come and belong, stand tall, then you'll know it's fun, oh so fun to be a Filipino. But diverse, we are many but united. Be proud, shout it out and show we're not divided. Behold the Filipino spirit that's in you. Pinay ako, taas noo, mamalaki ko sa buong mundo. Pinoy ako, at proud ako. I'm proud to be who I am. I'm proud to be a Pinoy. Pinoy ako, proud ako. All it takes is a spark to connect and empower nation building beyond the borders. Come and celebrate who we are. Pinay ako, taas noo, pagmamalaki ko sa buong mundo. Pinoy ako, at proud ako. I'm proud to be who I am. Yes! Pinay ako, taas noo, pagmamalaki ko sa buong mundo. Pinoy ako, at proud ako. I'm proud to be who I am. I'm proud to be a Pinoy. I'm proud to be who I am. Yes, I'm proud. I'm proud to be who I am. So proud. I'm proud to be who I am. I'm proud to be a Pinoy. Pinoy ako! Proud ako!
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat, mga kababayan, and welcome again to our Tanong ni Congen. Where every Wednesday we're here to inform you of important news, but at the same time also as a platform to introduce organizations or personalities, leaders, trendsetters, trailblazers who are partnering with us in terms of the Spark, Connect, Empower thrust of the Consulate. No? And so for today, we have a very special guest, and we're most grateful to her and the organization that she represents. Actually, not just the organization, but herself. No, is really it really personifies the essence of what we try to do here in the Consulate in terms of sparking love and passion for our heritage, that connecting and the giving back to our culture, to our archipelago, to our people, and at the end of the day, empowering all of us as Filipinos, as individuals. And so the consulate only started this 4, 5 years ago, but she predates us. She's been doing this for more for 30 years now. All her life has been dedicated, no, to doing this. And so we're very small, a very little dent in terms of the what she does, no. And let me introduce her to all our kababayans, because here in San Francisco she's well known, but for our colleagues, friends, fellow Filipinos, the rest of the world, in the Middle East, in the archipelago, and in Europe, North Americas, in Canada. Um, Allow me, and it's my honor to introduce her to you po. No? I guess she's actually a Filipino-American community leader, and she's very well known as a philanthropist. But when you look at her family background, you will understand why. She's very humble, but she's actually the daughter of another well-known philanthropist and patriot, I must say, Alfonso Yuchenko, ambassador, who we're very honored to be part of the Foreign Service as well. No? Her name is Mona Lisa Yuchenko, and she was the founder and um, former publisher of the nationally circulated Filipinas magazine from 1992 to 2005. She continues to tell stories about her community, about our heritage, about our culture at positivelyfilipino.com. So it's an online magazine, a digital magazine that she also founded. You know. She's more importantly now, she's also the founder and chair of the Philippine International Aid, a nonprofit corporation that sends disadvantaged children to school in the Philippines and in California, United States. PIA, or short for Philippine International Aid, is actually celebrating its 34th anniversary. And I must say that I did enjoy the digital concert. No? I think it's still available. Later, she can talk about it, and we'll ask her whether it could still be accessed in the YouTube, because I really enjoyed it, and you guys will also enjoy it. It represents the best of our culture, no? Contemporary, galing. Anyway, I get excited. But let me go back to that. So annually, PIA enrolls 2,500 children. Why? Why? Just imagine 2,500. And then when these human beings grow and become productive, can you imagine the multiplier effect of that? Amazing. But many of these were sexually abused even. So in effect, PIA has given them a second life, has given them hope. So Lisa, I call her as a friend. I hope she's not offended. She has received numerous awards for her writing talent on behalf of Filipinas Magazine and for her community involvement. On December 12, 2002, she received a special presidential citation at the Malacanang Palace in Manila on behalf of Filipinas Magazine, and I quote, for having provided a vehicle for enlightened discourse and exchange of ideas about the Filipino-American experience among Filipinos in the United States and contributing extensively to highlighting the best of the Filipino in literature, art, culture, science and technology, politics, economics, education, and the international scene. End of quote. Hindi po ako nagsabi nun, presidente po noong 2002 ang nagsabi nun. So you can imagine. In 2005, she received the Woman of the Year award from California Senator Jackie Spears. In 2014, PositivelyFilipino.com won the Best Interactive Media Award from the Commission on Filipino Overseas. In 2009, She enrolled in filmmaking classes at the Marilu Diaz-Abaya Film Institute. Her first documentary, which is 66 years, 2 months, 21 days, and still counting, was shown at the 2010 San Francisco International Asian American Film Festival. Since then, she has written, director din pala si Lisa, directed and or produced two more documentaries, The Marilu Diaz-Abaya and Filmmaker on a Voyage and Right-Footed. The latter movie actually won Best Documentary at the Mirabile Dictu Film Festival at the Vatican. Wow, amazing. I'm learning this for the first time also. And, Ms. Yuchenko was born in Manila, Philippines, and immigrated to the United States in 1982. But she continued to be a Filipino in soul and in heart. And later, you will see what I mean by that. She finished her college and master's education in the Philippines, but continued her studies in creative writing and publishing at the University of California, Berkeley, and Stanford University, respectively. There is still a lot here, but I'm afraid we might occupy the entire 1 hour. So I will stop here and allow her to be the one to, so that you will see her in front of you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's really my honor. And when I say it's my honor, that's a very sincere statement from my heart. I'm very deeply honored to introduce to you Miss Lisa Yuchenko. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning, Congen. Thank you very, very much for those kind words. I don't need to answer any questions anymore.
Unfortunately, you will feel because people are so eager to know you as a person and also what you do, no? So, if you're ready, Lisa,
Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready.
we'll you now. Okay, so there's a first question here, Lisa.
Yeah.
And let me read it. You're one of the well-known philanthropists, not only among Filipino American community in the United States, but all in the Philippines. No? Could you please tell us about yourself and also the Philippine International Aid that you founded?
Well, I came to the United States in 1982. So that's like 38 years ago. I was a single mother with two sons aged 8 and 10 years old. And the first few years, I devoted my time to just bringing up the two boys. And it was one of the best times of my life, which I would not trade for anything else, because the three of us became very, very close, with no maids, no tutors, no drivers or grandparents or ex-husbands to interfere, no? So we became very, very close. But you know, when they started to become teenagers, they said, "Mom, don't kiss us anymore in front of our classmates." You know, they wanted to distance themselves from me already. So that's when I decided, okay, now it's time to think about myself. I went back to school, took up creative writing classes, and then I started writing for a Filipino newspaper, Philippine News, so I could share my political and social perspectives. And then in 1986, I joined the daily demonstrations in front of the Philippine Consulate in San Francisco to oust President Marcos at that time. You know, and the people power revolution was so emotional for me that I said, I have to do something to help the motherland. But since I was already here in the United States, and I said, well, what can I do to help? So that's how I started Philippine International Aid, so that people like me who are living in the United States and want to help will have an avenue to help the country, right? So that's how PIA got started. At first, I called classmates from other states, so we had chapters in New York, Washington, D.C., Chicago, but then it became so difficult to have to travel to all those places and conduct fundraisers. So we just settled in San Francisco because this was where we are incorporated anyway. But we do receive donations nationwide, because we have a tax status that allows us to do that. So that's how PIA started. We didn't really know what projects to fund when we started. So I went back to the Philippines and I met Sister Mirna Takardon of the Good Shepherd Nun, who was with Caritas Manila, who has had this project about child prostitutes. And I asked her, Sister, are we talking about teenagers? And she said, no, we're talking about children as young as 4 years old. And it was something that I could not believe. I was really aghast at what she said. I said, really? And she said, here. She showed me pictures of little boys being fondled by pedophiles. She made me listen to recordings, therapy sessions that were recorded about the children describing, the sexual acts that they were forced to do. And it was just something that I said, how can I run away from this? It's got to be something that I have to do something about. And in the beginning, we funded a rehabilitation center for child prostitutes. And Sister Mirna would go to the clubs without her habit and try to convince the girls, 12-year-old girls, to go home with her to the convent and all that. And later on, we decided, well, let's tackle the problem from the beginning. Let's do the advocacy and the prevention first so that they don't even get to that situation. And that's when we started the scholarship program, Off the Streets, Off to School. Because we really, when they're on the street, that's where they get into drugs. That's where they get picked up by the pimps, and do other sort of things. So we said we should really be putting them in school. So we started a scholarship program where individual donors can sponsor individual kids, right? And they would receive letters from the children, copies of the report cards, reports from the social worker. And we started this in 1987, CONGEN, and up to now, it's still ongoing, and we have maybe about 60,000 children have gone through the system, because every year from grade school all the way till college.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've attended several of your PIA events here. It's very impressive.
Yeah.
I saw how people are moved to help. Actually, so I've seen the miracles myself.
Thank you. Yes.
So PIA is really one of the first nonprofit organizations in the United States that focused on helping the Philippines.
Yes, and I believe we are the longest running Filipino American charity.
Wow, that's amazing. But now that we have this pandemic, how is PIA able to adjust and continue with its advocacy?
Okay, so normally every year we have a fashion show as a fundraiser, which we hold in November. This year, because of the social distancing rules, we won't be able to do that. So instead, we decided to hold an online concert in July. We needed to do it right away because people were starving in the Philippines. And so we sought the help of Martin Rivera, who agreed to host the concert. And he also helped us get all the celebrities that sang for us that night, very like Lea Salonga, Lani Misalucha, so many other people. And we were able to raise about $140,000 during the concert. Right? And it was online on Facebook, and it went all over the world, actually. And so from that money, we were able to distribute food and hygiene bags to about 1,800 kids and their families. in addition to that, we were able to buy some PPEs for a medical facility in Bukidnon. We were able to provide electronic tablets and computers for those older kids who are now doing online learning. We were able to support a health facility also in the Philippines treating coronavirus. I mean, and we've distributed small grants to some of the NGOs that we've been working with for the children, just to provide food and make sure that they're learning during this period, and help the families as well, because most of the parents have lost their jobs. And so when that happens, children become malnourished, violence and cyber porn is increased, right? So it's a very delicate situation, and we knew that we needed to move fast.
Wow, amazing. And I think maybe you have a video on the PIA, right, Lisa?
Yes, yes, we do.
Yeah, maybe this would be a good point now, so that our listeners would have a good idea of what PIA is all about. Maybe at this point, we'll show the video.
I believe the children are future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be.
Thank you, Lisa, so for that very powerful and moving video. Now we have a good understanding of what PIA is.
Yeah, they can also go to the website to watch the concert again. For those who missed it, or those who want to watch it again, it's there for free.
Wow. How do they access that, Lisa?
www.phil-aid.org.
Wow.
.org. Yeah.
Okay. See, pandemic has not stopped a good person from doing a good deed. No? And behind this good soul are hundreds of souls, people who help Lisa continue with this advocacy. Don't get tired, Lisa.
I'm getting old, so I get more tired.
So hopefully others will carry on. No, what you?
Yes, I'm waiting for others to carry on.
That's great, but it's good. So, Lisa, there's another question here, and given what we have seen in terms of those, and your explanation what PIA, what can our kababayans do to help, and how can PIA and how can they help PIA in sponsoring a child? Actually, I understand that sponsoring a child or supporting a child could also have some positive benefits to the donor. No?
Yeah.
I will attest to that. You become more.
Yeah, in our scholarship program, the Off the Streets, Off to School, it only costs $150 a year for one child, and that translates to about 40 cents a day.
Wow.
And that takes care of books, school supplies, field trips, shoes, uniform, meal and transportation allowances, and a yearly medical and dental checkup, right? So really 40 cents a day if you think about it. So that's one way to help, by sponsoring a child's education. Because, whatever seeds you plant in that child, he or she will grow up to be a productive member of society, and that's saving our own future and our grandchildren's future as well. You can, if you don't want to sponsor a child, you can just merely donate to whatever we are doing. You can also volunteer. You can sign up to be a volunteer during our fundraisers, or help out in the office, or whatever you want to do, let us know. Because aside from a part-time staff member, all of us are volunteers. So
Wow.
that a lot, whatever you donate, most of it goes to the child directly.
Wow. Amazing. And I understand when you sponsor a child, there will be interaction.
Yes,
Is that correct?
the donor will receive letters from the child, about 6 letters during the year. You will receive copies of the report card. You will receive a progress update from the social worker assigned to your child. You can also write letters to the children. You can send gifts during Christmas or Thanksgiving to the child also, you know. And if you go to the Philippines, you can visit your child and meet the child personally.
Wow, amazing. So it creates a personal bond between
Yes,
the child and
yes. Yeah, we have donors who have sponsored their child from grade school all the way till college.
amazing. Talaga. Ang
Yeah.
galing. And 150, did you say 150 a year
Yes, $150 a year for one child.
for one child? Amazing. You just have to mortify a date to be
Yeah.
able to help, no? And
Yeah, because $1 goes a long way in the Philippines. People don't realize that, right? Oh,
yeah,
50 pesos can buy meals for how many people there? Yeah.
that's right. So amazing. So I think for our kababayans who's looking for a way to express their generosity and their love, this is one concrete way, no? And for 150, that's
Yeah, and the donor receives a folder containing the picture of the child and a short biographical data on the child and the family.
oh, so she's really able to monitor and
Yeah.
interact personally, no? Ah, nice. And I suppose with the digital platforms now available, that could also be done through, um, in a much reasonable way. Kasi non long distance here. Viber.
Yeah.
That's great. Wow. So fantastic. So anything more, Lisa, that you want to tell our viewers in terms of PIA or your thoughts among our kababayans?
Well, like I said earlier, I think it's important, um, not just help out, but to actually pass on the legacy that we have. You know, I think that's very important. I mean, I was born in the Philippines, so I'm still very passionate about the country and our culture and heritage and all that. And I would like people, especially the youth, the Filipino youth, to be appreciative of what they have, to share what they have, to pass on whatever kindness they have received, and to respect others regardless of political affiliation, sexual orientation, or anything. And I believe this is what Spark, Connect, and Empower means also, right? This is exactly the gist that we want to convey to not only to the young, but to everybody, to every Filipino that's outside of the Philippines. You know, the Philippines needs our help. There's no doubt about that. And if we are able to help, why not?
I think on that, I'd like to end on that very passionate, uh, very hopeful, very enlightening, very inspiring point that you, Lisa, imparted on all of us. No, so again, Lisa, we're most grateful for this, and we're able to know and dig inside deep into your heart, and you just have revealed your soul, and how comforting, how consoling, how inspiring that conversation with you. And I hope it also inspires our kababayans, and it doesn't matter where they are, here in the US or elsewhere or back home. In your own little way you can do, but it's also good to partner with like-minded people who have the same passion, because with that synergy
Yeah.
we can do more. And so thank you
Thank you
very much,
also for
Lisa,
having me,
and
Congen. Thank you.
Thank you. And to our kababayan, salamat po for listening. And I hope the words of Miss Lisa Yuchenko, you have to meet her in person. Very humble. And we're all inspired. And I think she epitomizes, personifies exactly what we try to say here, which is, Pinay ako, taas noo, Pinoy ako, proud ako, mabuhay. So, welcome po ulit dito sa TNC or Tanong ni CONGEN, which we are holding while there is a pandemic to be able to reach out to all of you and share information. And for today po, very relevant because, and we're honored and we're very grateful that the Consul General from the Philippine Consulate General in Houston agreed and allowed himself to be here and give us some information, especially in his area of jurisdiction. So I'm obviously talking about I always call him kasi ano ho ito, isa sa mga pillar ng Department of Foreign Affairs, who has been there guiding the Department of Foreign Affairs and the Foreign Service post for a long time already. But at the same time, he never aged. And I think when you see him later, you will understand why I meant by that, because he's not new to this. In fact, he's Consul General, but the truth of the matter is he is a very senior career diplomat already, a chief of mission. In fact, before coming here, he served as ambassador extraordinary and plenipotentiary to the Socialist Republic of Vietnam for 6 years, from December 2009 up to January 2016. So I remember him very well because during his tenure there, because I would work with him very closely in terms of coordinating our relations with Vietnam on the issue of South China Sea. So I had a very good working relationship, very hardworking ambassador, Gerald Santos, when he was an ambassador. No? And then he returned to Manila, and from Manila, he came here as Consul General in Houston. For all we know, we closed Houston a long time ago, and so he's back to reopen. So he practically raised the Consulate General in Houston from the ground up. No, but more importantly, when I said he's been in the service for a long time, he actually joined the career as a young foreign service officer in 1979. So he did serve an icon of the Department of Foreign Affairs, Secretary Carlos P. Romulo. In fact, maybe one day we'll have another forum like this just for him to tell stories about his experience with the late General and Secretary of Foreign Affairs, the legendary Carlos P. Romulo, because he really worked very close. I think that's another issue, but it's very interesting. He was also a recipient of many awards. In fact, some presidential awards like the Sikatuna, no? And he worked very closely with Malacanang in many instances because he was also the chief of protocol for a long time. And so our Consul General is no stranger to foreign service. His experience, he has gained a lot of wisdom. And so from that vantage point, from that perspective, it will be good to understand and get some thoughts and learn from him, because he has always been a mentor for many young officers. I was about to call myself young, pero I cannot hide the white hair, so I will not. But nonetheless, he's a mentor to me, and we have been very close friends. He's one of the closest friends I have, a mentor and a friend, because he never discriminates, regardless of his senior position in the Department of Foreign Affairs. So he's really makatao and a real person, a real human, a friend and a colleague. So ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce to you our very good Consul General, Gerald Santos. Sir, magandang umaga po sa inyo, sir.
Hi, Henry. Good morning, magandang umaga at sa mga nanonood sa atin. Magandang umaga, magandang hapon, magandang gabi. Kasi ang pagkakaalam ko, maraming makakakita nito sa iba-ibang dako ng ating mundo. at gusto ko lang silang batiin din, kagaya ng pagbating ginawa mo, pare ko. To be called the pillar of the Foreign Service, parang napakatanda ako na sa Foreign Service, pero sa totoo matanda na. This is my 40th year, actually. 40 years na ako sa serbisyo.
Wow.
Marami ng pinagdaanan, pero eto, nandito pa rin. At salamat sa pagkakataong ito na binigay mo upang at least makapanayam at makahalubilo natin ang ating mga kababayan through this forum.
Maraming salamat, sir, and we're very honored. Thank you, sir. Actually, sir, when I say pillar, hindi lang yung age or
Haligi,
yung wisdom po, because Ambassador Consul General Jeril saw the department change from Padre Faura, nasunog, tumayo.
PICC, tapos lipat-lipat dito, lipat-lipat doon.
Oo nga, sir. And that's why you have to write a book on that, sir. Especially yung mga anecdotes nyo about the various secretaries, especially Carlos P. Romulo. I think,
Sana, one day.
One day, sir, one day I will buy your book, sir, on that. Ang gaganda whenever we have private moments.
Bigyan kita ng complimentary copy.
Okay. Tatandaan ko yun, sir. Isusulat ko sa bato. Thank you, sir, and for the opportunity also, sir. Sir, yung bang dyan na po kayo sa Texas, ano po yung jurisdiction ng consulate nyo dyan?
Actually, aside from Texas, we have 5 other states na kinakover namin as jurisdiction. Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, New Mexico, tsaka Oklahoma.
So hindi lang po pala Texas. Sir, yung mga Filipino constituents nyo, including Filipino Americans, more or less gan po kalaki yung constituent nyo, sir? Or almost
Mahigit 200,000 Filipinos and Filipino Americans.
Malaki pala, sir. Sir, kumusta naman po kayo ngayon dyan, sir? May nakikita po kami sa CNN. Maybe you can give us an overview in terms of, number one, kumusta po yung pandemic dyan, yung epekto ng coronavirus, and at the same time we also saw sa CNN nagkaroon din po ng mga bagyo na dumaan. Can you give us, sir, your situation if you're okay there?
Alam mo, yung as far as the COVID pandemic is concerned, medyo mataas pa rin sa Texas yung number of cases. Although bumaba na rin kahit papaano, because of measures that were put in place by the Texas state government, medyo mataas pa rin. In fact, ang estimated number of cases sa Texas, more than 700,000 cases, COVID cases. Mga 15,000 COVID-related deaths, actually. Sa Texas pa lang yun. Iba, marami-rami rin, as far as yung bagyo naman is concerned, awa ng Panginoon, hindi ganong nasalanta yung mga lugar na malalapit dito. Wala rin naman kaming mga nabalitaang mga naging biktima ng bagyo ng mga kababayan natin.
Yes, sir.
Salamat naman. Pero yung tungkol sa COVID-19, siyempre, gusto kong kunin itong pagkakataon na to na pasalamatan yung mga kababayan natin na nasa front lines, mga doktor, mga nurses, na nagbubuwis ng sariling safety nila upang makapagserbisyo sa ating mga kababayan. Pero hindi lang naman sila yung mako-consider na front lines eh. Yung mga nagtatrabaho sa service industries natin, yung ating mga nasa mga tindahan, nasa mga restaurant, these are also frontliners who come to work just to bring food to our tables, for example. Mga nagtatrabaho sa mga establishments like Walmart, Target, mga ganyan. Yan, mga considered frontliners yan. Salamat sa inyong Salamat sa kanilang paglilingkod upang mabigyan yung ating mga kababayan ng mga services na kailangan nila. So far naman kami dito sa Consulate, okay naman kami. Wala namang nagkakasakit, awa ng Diyos, although nagkaroon kami ng isang case na nag-test positive. Pero nag-negative na rin, and so far naman, walang naging biktima sa amin dito.
Salamat naman po pala at least you're all safe there. But nonetheless, ang laki ng mga kaso pala ng COVID dyan. So, nagkaroon ho ba ng epekto yung pandemic na yun sa operation ng Consulate dyan?
Oo, meron. Kasi nung mag-announce ang Texas government na magre-restrict sila ng mga establishments, napuwersa din kaming magsara ng operations to the public. For a while, wala kaming on-site services, but hindi naputol yung provision natin ng consular services dito. Nag-shift lang yung methods natin from on-site, face-to-face, to mail-in services. Marami tayong services na ino-offer. In fact, all of the services that we can offer, from passports, visas, civil registry, consularization of documents, travel documents, visa issuance. Ino-offer natin lahat yon by mail. Medyo, siyempre, nagkaroon ng effect din yun sa public natin, na hindi natin mai-process yung mga dokumento natin as fast as we used to. Until recently, first week of September, we reopened ulit yung ating on-site services. Those that we can do by mail, we still continue by mail so that hindi natin kailangan papuntahin yung ating mga kababayan dito and further expose themselves or us to any health risks. Yung ating passport services, we have started doing appointment system again through QLess. Although limited din kasi we can only admit so many into the consulate premises because of social distancing issues. We cannot have, for example, so many in one particular place. May limitations tayo dito sa Texas lalo. Kung tutuusin ang sinasabi nila sa mga restaurants, naging 25% capacity lang pag nag-operate ka. So dito sa Consulate, hindi rin tayo makapag-admit ng napakaraming tao into our consular section. So nililimit namin ang number. Tsaka hanggat maaari, ang hinihingi namin sa ating mga kababayan na pumupunta rito, pumunta ka mag-isa. Hindi yung dala mo yung buong pamilya mo, ikaw lang ang nangangailangan ng service. So that kagaya na sinabi ko, hindi na-expose yung iba. Kung kailangan mo ng tulong, kung senior citizen ka or you are person with disability, pwede ka magsama ng isang tao. Pero ang pakiusap namin, huwag mong dadalhin yung buong pamilya mo, yung buong barangay dito sa Consulate, kasi unnecessary yun para din sa kaligtasan mo yan at sa kalusugan mo kung kuan. Tsaka we instituted measures to make sure na everybody is protected. We require masks at all times. Meron tayong sanitation facilities like hand sanitizers. We take temperatures of everyone prior to entry into the consular area para makasiguro tayo na hindi tayo pumupunta rito nang meron tayong karamdaman. Ang sinasabi lang namin palagi is that sana maintindihan nila yung limitations na ito dahil ito'y para sa ating lahat.
Thank you, sir. So, para lang paglilinaw po sa ating mga tagapakinig, nung sinabi niyong nagsara, hindi naman talaga kayo nagsara, tuloy-tuloy yung operation nyo.
Lagi
Ang
kaming may
natira nyo lang yung in-person, sir, no? Yung face-to-face, pero
Yeah.
tuloy pa rin kayo, sir.
limited yung in-person interactions. Pero tuloy yung services. Lahat ng services tuloy yon.
Yes, sir.
Although naging challenging din kasi marami yung phone calls, marami yung emails, which we endeavor to answer as much as we can. Kaya lang sana naman ang sinasabi ko rin sa mga kababayan natin, maintindihan sana nila yung limitations din ng facilities natin, halimbawa, pag tumawag ka dito sa konsulado, ang laging reklamo, hindi sila makatawag.
Yes, sir. Ganun din sa ibang post, sir, actually.
Ganito po yan kung bakit. Ilan ng ang extensions namin dito. Sabihin natin, 10 extensions. Lahat yun may pumapasok through a trunk line, channel nung trunk line na yon sa local, sasagutin yon. Ngayon, pag sinagot mo yon, walang recording na nagsasabi na mag-hold ka lang eh. Wala ring busy signal. Nagre-ring lang yon. Kasi pag binaba yon, tatanggap ng susunod na tawag. Ang problema dito, ganito. Pag sumagot ka ng isang tawag na yon sa iyong extension at nagtagal ka ng mga 10 minuto para kausapin mo yung tumatawag sa'yo, may mga 10 na tumatawag din sa'yo na hindi makapasok. So, yun ang problema ngayon. It's the physical limitations of the telephone system. And to also, hindi naman tayo marami dito. In fact, 11 lang kami dito eh.
Oh, 11 lang po pala kayo dyan.
11 lang kami dito. Nagka-cover ng 6 na states, may 200,000 na constituents. So, hindi ganun kadali, yun ang hinihingi namin. Sana maintindihan ng ating mga kababayan na meron tayong physical limitations na gano'n. At saka, kung minsan kasi, yung tawag, ako, feeling ko, personally, kung minsan it's not necessary eh. Kasi kung magtatanong ka lang ng requirements, kung anong isasubmit mo para mag-renew ka ng passport, nandoon yan sa website namin at saka sa Facebook pages namin. Nakaspell out lang doon. Nandun pa yung mga links na pwede mong i-click para makita mo yung requirements na yon. So, kung kaya mo mag-navigate ng Facebook at kaya mo mag-navigate ng Instagram, kaya mong tumingin ng website. Makikita mo yun doon. So, ang pakiusap namin, kung hindi naman talaga emergency at magtatanong ka lang ng requirements, nandun po lahat yun. Nasa website lahat yun. Makikita mo lahat doon.
Importante po yan. Buti nabanggit ninyo, na kung hindi emergency, mabuti siguro para talagang may sagot na kagad sa katanungan nila yung website po ninyo, sir.
Nandun yan. At saka siguro, kung minsan, bago ka tumawag, mag-isip ka kung ano yung tinatawag mo. Kung minsan, may mga tanong sa amin na hindi kami ang dapat sumagot eh. Halimbawa, may nagtatanong kung paano siya makapag-apply ng visa dito sa US. Hindi po natin sakop yun. yun ang kuwan eh. Siya yung mag-apply magtanong siya dapat sa US Embassy, yung mga ganon.
Opo. Yes, sir. Sir, para sa mga tagapakinig natin, yung website po ninyo, sir, ano po yung website ninyo, sir, na pwede nilang i-access sa Facebook? Sa Facebook rin po, no?
Yung website natin, meron kaming houstonpcg.dfa.gov.ph.
Okay. Yan po yung website na dapat nilang puntahan, sir, no? And then, may mga ano na yan.
Search mo sa Google yun, makikita mo kagad eh.
Okay. And then, nandun yung mga instruction, punta lang sila sa mga specific, no?
Kompleto yun. Meron pa nga kaming mga QR codes na pwede mong pwede mong basahin, idadaling ka niya dun sa site mismo. Dadaling ka niya sa page mismo. Kung kunin mo yung QR code na yun sa telepono mo, dadaling ka niya directly to the page where you can see yung requirements, yung procedure, etc. Yung mga ganyan. Tsaka yung mga email namin, bawat section ng consulate, merong email addresses, ano? Kung yung question mo is about passports or travel documents, there is a specific email na pwede mong ipadala doon. Kung gusto mo ng civil registry, halimbawa, nag-register ka ng report of birth, pwede mo email doon sa specific email na yon. So, bawat section merong specific email address para nakikita namin kaagad kung saan papunta.
Oh, wow. Maganda po yun, sir. No? So, kung ang concern mo sa civil registration lang ng birth mo, nandun na kaagad. Diretso na, sir. No? Wala nang ikot-ikot.
Alam mo, mabigat din kasi yung siguro nakakatanggap kami ng mga mahigit 50 emails a day. Some of them, like I said, ang kasagutan nandoon sa websites, saka sa Facebook page. Ganon din sa tawag sa telepono. Ang daming tawag sa telepono. Kung minsan, tatanong sa'yo, pwede na ba akong bumili ng ticket? Yung mga ganon, sinasagot naman namin lahat yon as much as possible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, in effect, sir, sa telephone
system, hindi naman namin na yung kababayan natin wants to hear a human voice. Iba pa rin talaga yung may kausap kang tao.
Yes, sir.
Pero, like I said, sana po maintindihan nila kung minsan hindi namin masagot lahat dahil sa dami.
Talagang question of volume, sir. Katulad ng sinabi, 11 lang kayo. 200,000 yung constituent niyo, sir. No?
Although hindi naman lahat yun tumatawag, pero marami pa rin tawag.
Just the same, no?
Hindi lang mula sa jurisdiction namin ang tawag. May mga tawag na nanggagaling sa hindi namin jurisdiction.
Even
kasi,
after.
Halimbawa, hindi sila makatawag ng San Francisco or Los Angeles. Tatawag sila sa Houston.
Yes, sir.
Yung ganong tipo. Kasi pare-pareho naman ang requirements natin kahit paano. Di ba?
That's true. Opo. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, in effect, parang pag hindi po sila may lang sumagot sa kanila, hindi ibig sabihin hindi sinasagot. Meron pong nakapila, nakausap at the moment.
Oo. So, yun ang lang namin na sana maintindihan nila kasi may makikita ako na reklamo na hindi sumasagot itong mga ganito. Hindi ganun yung sitwasyon. Sinasagot namin lahat ng tawag. Kung minsan lang kahit dahil may kausap kami halimbawa, hindi namin masagot yung tawag ninyo dahil hindi pa pumapasok yung tawag niyo.
Okay, sir. So,
wala pong dahilan kung bakit hindi namin sasagutin ang tawag ninyo kasi nandito kami para magbigay ng serbisyo sa ating mga kababayan. Hindi tama yung na sasabihin na hindi namin sasagutin yan. Sasagutin namin yan.
Importante po sa paglilinaw ninyo, napaka-importante ng paglilinaw na ginawa po ninyo, no? And siguro para hindi sila maabala sa telepono, yung i-utilize nila yung email system ninyo, no?
Yes. Actually, in-encourage sa amin na mag-email sila kasi mas mababasa rin namin yung email. Tsaka pag sumagot kami by email, kumpleto yung sasabihin namin sa iyo. Kasi kung tumawag ka sa telepono at sinabi namin sa iyo yung requirements at hindi mo isinulat, may nakalimutan ka, may problema ka pa rin.
Magandang punto po yun. So may utility talaga kung email on record, no? At hindi makakalimutan.
Namin doon, kumpleto yun.
Thank you, sir. So ngayon, mabalik ako sa mga serbisyo ninyo, sir. So nung pandemic, sinabi ninyo, hindi talaga kayo sarado, tuloy-tuloy by mail. Pero ngayon pong nagbukas na kayo, ano-ano po yung mga serbisyo na na in operation na sa inyo?
It's
Yung
the same. Everything is on service.
passport renewal
At least-
or passport
Kaya,
application?
passport renewal, ayan. Yung passport renewal by appointment system yan.
Okay, importante.
As soon as magsaset ka ng appointment. Although alam mo, sa dami ng kumukuha ng appointment sa amin, book na kami hanggang Disyembre.
Ganyan din po yata sa iba, no?
Dami ng gustong mag-renew ng passport. Ngayon, pagdating naman sa passport, kung hindi naman po ninyo kailangan kaagad yung bago ninyong passport at valid pa yung kanilang passport, we are allowed to extend, hindi ba?
Yes, sir.
We're allowed to extend passports for one year.
Yes,
So kung
sir.
hindi mo kailangan baguhin kaagad yung passport na yon, mag-apply ka ng extension sa consulate, we will extend your passport. Diba?
Sir, paglilinaw lang, yung passport extension, hindi nila kailangang pumunta at mag-personal appearance. Tama po ba?
Oo.
Pwede nilang gawin to by mail?
Yes. Yes. Passport
So-
extension can be done by mail. Ngayon,
Ayun.
yung ating civil registry, by mail din, as well as yung visa issuance for those who are qualified to be given visas. Lahat ng services by mail. Yung ating mga legalization of documents, ang tinatawag nilang authentication, red ribbon, in-encourage natin yung kababayan natin na ipa-apostilize yung kanilang dokumento. Meaning, you can engage yung notary public ninyo at your place of residence, tapos ipa-apostilize sa state secretary. Hindi na po kailangang dalhin ang dokumento dito sa consulate kasi tinatanggap yung apostillized document sa Pilipinas.
Ayun, wow.
That is one service that is no longer required. Yung visas, of course, on a case-to-case basis, meron tayong limitations on who can be granted visas. At this time, hopefully that will be lifted so that yung ating business and tourism climate will improve when we allow foreigners to visit our country again. Of course, yung ating travel documents, kung emergency, expired yung passport mo, kailangan ka magbiyahe, we also issue travel documents, which is also by mail.
So practically, almost everything can be done by mail, no? And yung saan po yung...
Even when we were physically close to the public, we have continued doing that. Ginagawa natin.
Yun po naman pala. Ganun naman po pala. So, yung pong mga in-person na kailangan, ano pong serbisyo yan, basically?
Well, passport renewal at saka portions of our procedures for reacquisition of Philippine citizenship.
Okay.
Kasi while you can apply for dual citizenship by mail, we will have to ask you to come in also to take your oath and to sign the documents of your reacquisition. Kasi you cannot sign that online. You have to physically sign it. Even that, we have to schedule that for the safety of everyone.
So yan po, by appointment din po yan, ano?
No, not necessarily. You send us the requirements by email. We will come back to you and tell you if the requirements fulfill yung needs natin for reacquisition. And then we will advise you as to what to do next. Kung kailangan pumunta rito to sign the documents, we will give you a date and time to do that.
Okay. So, pagdating sa dual citizenship, it can be done by, initially, kaya sabi nyo, partially.
By mail, yes.
And then, kung tapos na, hindi na nila kailangan gumawa ng appointment, but you will be the one to schedule them kung kailan sa
Mag-confirm sa kanila when they can come in.
Okay, malinaw. So at least kayo na yung nag-allocate, sir, no? Base sa...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sige. That's very good. So in effect, sir, parang ang appointment system nyo lang is available sa passport renewal kasi ito lang yung kailangan ng
Yes.
personal appearance because of the biometrics, sir, no? Hindi talaga pwedeng...
Yes.
So yung biometrics...
Kailangan on-site yun.
Oo nga, on-site yung fingerprints. That's right. Sir, how do they make an appointment? Teka, bago ko po pala itanong yan. So pag walang appointment, hindi kayo tumatanggap ng mga walk-in applicants?
As much as possible, hindi. Kasi, like I said, for the safety of everyone, we need to have everyone scheduled. Limited access yan to our consular section, no? And we would like you to get an appointment to be sure that you are serious about doing this. Meron pa rin kaming na kumukuha ng appointment tapos hindi lilitaw.
Okay.
Kumuha ka ng appointment, we encourage you to show up dahil mahaba ang pila, maraming gusto ng appointment eh.
Oo nga.
Kumuha ka ng appointment tapos hindi mo sinipot, nawalan din ng opportunity naman yung iba na makipag-appointment sa akin.
Okay, that's a good point nga, sir. Pero how do they make an appointment, sir? Ano yung proseso ninyo for one to make an appointment?
You will have to go to an appointment system like QLess. QLess ang ginagamit namin. Meron niyang links na nakalagay sa websites natin. Dadaling ka doon. Merong instructions on how to go about in setting the appointment, kung anong oras, kung anong date, kung sino yung kumukuha ng appointment. So, madali lang. Actually, like I said, kung kaya mong mag-Facebook, kaya mong mag-Instagram, kaya mong gawin yung appointment na yun.
Okay, so in effect, ang first nila is they have to enter your website first and then from there makikita na nila.
Makikita nila lahat yun. Makikita nila lahat.
Okay.
Automatic yung appointment system eh.
Yes.
Para ginawa natin yun para may order yung ating procedures. Para merong sistema.
Okay, tama. Oo nga naman. Yes, sir. So, and then pagka may appointment sila, meron ho ba kayong sinusunod na mga protocol para doon sa mga in-person applications na nakagawa ng appointment?
Oo. Kailangan darating ka on time on your appointed time for your appointment kasi kukunin yung biometrics mo, halimbawa, i-evaluate yung requirements mo para hindi ka pabalik-balik.
Yes, sir.
Meron tayong mga requirements. Come in, like for example, like I said, be sure you are masked inside the building. Alam mo yung requirements na hinihingi sa iyo. Evaluate natin, kunin yung biometrics. Sandali lang, actually. Less than half an hour, you should be done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pero yung sinasabi niyong less than 1 hour, ito yung proseso na ginagawa niyo. Pero yung actual passports, dahil ginagawa sa Pilipinas, that will take some time, sir, no? Bago ma-release.
Yeah. Normally, ang turnaround time natin is 6 weeks. Di ba?
Yes, sir.
Recently, naka-experience tayo na it took more than 6 weeks. Kasi nga naman, hindi lang dito sa Texas may COVID-19.
Right.
Sa Pilipinas, sa ating manufacturing passport manufacturing facility, I would imagine yung personnel natin doon limited din because of COVID-19. Everybody is affected. So medyo nag-slow down din yung processing doon.
Yes.
End result nun, kumonti rin dumami rin yung needed time to process this. So, like I said, we appeal for understanding ng public. If the 6-week turnaround time is sometimes not met.
Yeah.
We have had instances before that it actually took less than 6 weeks.
Yes,
But there
sir.
were instances that it took more than 6 weeks.
Mm.
Now, meron naman tayong mga cases din na yung kababayan natin nag-apply ng passport, nasa lookout list natin. Ano?
Yes, sir.
Kung minsan, we will ask for additional requirements, especially if, alimbawa, lumitaw sa ating mga alerts na merong problema yung application. Halimbawa, may kaso yung tao, may discrepancies sa data, yung pangalan, yung mga dates of birth, mga ganyan, hihingin natin yon. So magtatagal yung proseso ulit.
Okay. Okay, sir. So, actually, pag sinabi niyo kung in effect sa passport renewal, sa lahat ng consulates, and thank you for explaining this, sir. So, in effect, yung mga tao, mabilis lang naman talaga yung pag-process, di ba po, sir? Sabi niyo nga, 1 hour. Kaya lang, yung release, it takes this time, mga 6 weeks normally, sabi ninyo, kasi yung actual manufacture ng passport sa Batangas po yata ginagawa. And then may shipment pa yan, tama, sir, no? And then, ngayon, yung paliwanag nyo, mas tumagal pa ng 6 weeks kasi may pandemic.
Hindi kaya dati na, nung araw, ginagawa natin yung passports dito lang sa on-site, dito sa atin.
Oo nga, sir, before.
Centralized ang production ng passport for quality and security purposes.
Oo nga po, sir.
Nawala na sa kamay natin yon, doon na sa Pilipinas ginagawa. So it will take time talaga.
Talagang may mas mahaba bang turnaround. Yung shipment pa lang, sir, yung travel time pa lang. That will take some time.
Kung may mga discrepancies pa, halimbawa, yung pangalang for whatever reason, yung pangalang ginamit mo doon sa dati mong passport, iba ngayon sa sinabit mo sa application mo, medyo magkakaroon ng katanungan, siyempre.
Oo nga, sir. Tama po kayo, sir. So, okay. So, mabalik po ako sa konsulado pag nakakuha na ng appointment. Pero pwede ba silang pumasok ng walang mask? O inaalaw niyo po ba yun?
No. You cannot come into the building without a mask. Dito sa Texas, that is a requirement. That is a state requirement. You must have a facial covering when you are at a public facility.
Okay.
So we abide by that requirement by the Texas state government. Ano rin yun? Para sa kaligtasan mo rin yun. Para sa kalusugan mo rin yun.
Okay. Salamat dyan, sir. So, para malinaw lang, pag walang maskara, no entry. Tama, sir? Okay.
May temperature ka, feverish ka, kukunan ka namin ng temperature sa pinto, no entry.
Okay. And
ganun din naman, anywhere. Dito
yes,
sa Texas. Yung mask, I understand, may mga tao dito sa US na ayaw gumamit ng mask, actually, a mask is not just for your protection, it is for the protection of others. Kasi kung merong airborne na particulates na sinasala ng mask, yung pinalalabas mong particulates then coming from you is also prevented from going out into the airspace kung nakamask. So we need to enforce that. Pati yung we always also remind our staff, to sanitize everything, your hands, your workspace. We periodically sanitize our doorknobs, our pens, everything. Ito na yung bagong normal natin. Nagbago na yung pamumuhay natin dahil dito.
Yes, sir. Oo nga, sir. So, salamat sir sa paglilinaw na yan. Sir, may ang yung consular outreach tungkol naman, nagko-consular outreach rin po ba kayo, yung consular on
Ayan.
wheels?
Normally ako, I programmed consular outreach services to areas na hindi namin napupuntahan for quite some time. But because of this pandemic, tinigil natin yung consular outreach.
Yes, sir.
Again, I hope that some of our constituents who are affected, lalo na yung malalayo, would understand na we cannot go to them. As much as possible, alam mo naman tayo, we'd like to take our services to their doorstep.
Yes, sir.
Through the consular services.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, this whole pandemic stopped us from doing a lot of things. Mobile services were suspended. Isipin mo, even yung mga normal gatherings na ginagawa natin within the consulate, medyo natigil natin yun. We have a lot of programs that we want to pursue. Hindi natin magawa dahil may mga regulasyon ng mga states natin na hindi pwede yung gatherings of more than X number of people. So, hindi ka masyadong makakilos. Hopefully, makakita ng lunas dito sa problema na ito, itong COVID-19, upang maibalik natin sa normal yung ating pamumuhay at yung ating pagkilos as far as the consulate and the public are concerned.
Yes, sir.
But, alam mo, I'm not really too optimistic that this will change overnight. It will take time. In fact, sad to say, it will probably get worse before it gets better.
Okay, sir. So, okay. So you're monitoring the situation, depende po sa situation ng COVID. I-reassess nyo kung when it is safe to do the consular outreach, sir.
We are reassessing
safety of the
our
people and yours.
Yeah, we are reassessing our programs periodically because we would like to extend as maximum to our maximum capacity yung services natin.
Yes.
Kasi we need to balance that against our own safety and health concerns. While we would like to be unselfish,
Yes, sir.
in our services, face to face. I mean, we'd like to go out there and be of service. Pag kami naman ang nadali, we, the ones who are providing the services, will now need the services. And we cannot extend those services if we ourselves are ill. Di ba? Ganun lang yun. Ganun lang kasimple yun.
That's the reality, no? Yes, sir. So, great. That's for us to be apprised. Sir, meron pa ho bang ibang programa ang inyong konsulado that you want the public to know?
Right now, we are focusing on extending our services to the max. Marami kaming naiisip na mga programa pero hindi namin ma-implement todo dahil nga we have limitations. We will inform our public and our constituents as we go along. Of course, meron tayong mga gustong mga gawin online online programs and projects, and we will keep you informed on that.
Yes, sir. So, sir, with all this pandemic and these issues na confronting us, especially there, bagyo season na rin sa inyo. And as you mentioned, the pandemic will not go away overnight and will be there. Ano po yung, meron ho ba kayong mensahe or any final thoughts, sir, that you want to express to your constituents and the public, sir? May gusto po ba kayong ipaalam?
No, we first we would like to thank yung ating constituents for their kind understanding of what we're going through. Everybody is affected by this. Just because we have sabihin natin consular or diplomatic immunity does not mean that we have immunity to the virus. Lahat tayo affected. We'd like to assure them that we are here to extend the services that they need despite the limitations that we all face. We'd like to remind them that they need to be safe, they need to remain healthy. Kasi this is observe proper protocol and hygiene to stay safe. This is what we need to do now. We cannot avoid this. Yung ating mga masks, gloves, for example, observe social distancing. All of these have altered the way we live, the way we conduct business, even the way we relate to each other. Ang sinasabi lang natin, let's be patient. Yung ating bansang Pilipinas, nahihirapan din. Siyempre, itong mga pagsasara na nangyari sa Pilipinas, naka-apekto rin sa buhay ng ating mga kababayan, sa negosyo, lahat apektado. And we'd like to just appeal for understanding. And we would like to wish everyone all the best amidst this. Sana naman maibsan yung epekto nito kahit papano so that we can somehow normalize our lives kahit papano. Salamat naman sa ating mga kababayan who are resilient, strong, lalo na yung mga nasa front lines natin. Marami tayong utang na loob sa kanila for doing what they do at great risk to their own safety.
Sir, maraming salamat po sa inyong message, and we in San Francisco share your views. Also in extending to our people the message of making themselves safe and others. So thank you very much, sir. We're most grateful for your guesting here and sharing information to not only to your constituents, kasi marami yung mga sinabi ninyo are also applicable in other foreign service posts. And we share the same experience as you do, no? And so we're very grateful also for you expressing what I feel is also the sentiment and the situation in other foreign service posts.
Salamat din, Henry, for this opportunity. I wish there was a more pleasant way, for example, to present some of the things that I presented. But we have to be real about it. We have to be direct about it. Kasi there's no sugarcoating. For example, yung problema natin that we face, as consular officers. Also, naintindihan din naman natin yung mga problema ng ating mga kababayan, and we are doing our best to actually tugunan yung mga suliranin nila dahil nandito tayo para gawin yun, para tumulong. Tulungan lang. Maraming salamat for this opportunity na maiparating sa kanila yung ating sinasaloob. At syempre, sana naman maintindihan din ng ating mga nasa paligid natin na ganito yung gusto nating gawin. Gusto nating tumulong. And we will do it to the best of our ability.
On that note, sir, to the best of our ability, we'll end the show, sir. And again, thank you for your candor and your candidness, truthful answers to our people. Hopefully, your answers and your sentiments will provide light and promote understanding between the consulate and our constituents. And I think we share your view in terms of your sincerity of our being in public service, the effort to be of service. But yet there are certain realities that constrains us from doing that. Yet we try to do our best, and that and I think I'll end the show, sir, on that high note that you expressed. So thank you very much, sir, again, and on behalf of the Philippine Consulate General here in San Francisco, our warmest to all of you there, sir, in Houston and your constituents. So
Salamat din.
thank you.
From my team in Houston, maraming salamat din, and all the best to you.
That's nice. Thank you, sir. And as always, Pinay ako, taas no, Pinoy ako, proud ako. Mabuhay po kayo.
Siyempre.
Maraming beses na kitang nilayasan, iniwanan at ibang pinuntahan. Parang babaeng ang hirap talagang malimutan. Ikaw lamang ang aking laging pinabalikan. Manila, I keep coming back to Manila. Simply
Our online celebration commemorates the 122nd anniversary of the proclamation of Philippine independence. I know, Dom, we are still in a pandemic and times are really tough right now, but that's not stopping us from celebrating our Filipino history, our culture, and our pride. And you know, tonight is the night to also honor the men and women who have really sacrificed so much amid the pandemic, our frontliners.
hinahanap kita Manila, ang ingay mong kay sarap sa tenga. Mga
Mabuhay!
mong naglilipa, offer toast. Mga babae mong nagagandahan. Take me back in your arms, Manila, and promise me you'll never let go. Promise me you'll never let go. Manila, Manila, I keep coming back to Manila. Simply ain't no place like Manila. Manila, I'm coming home.
That was a phenomenal performance.
Good morning there in Manila.
Hi, Sir Henry. Kamusta po kayo? We are okay here, and we're enjoying. We enjoyed your reception, and then we also want to congratulate you for your celebration of the 122nd Philippine Independence Day anniversary.
And promise me you'll never let go. Promise me you'll never.
Ryan Kayabyab and the Ryan Kayabyab Singers, thank you very much.
Now, to cap our program, we wish to leave you with a video prepared by the Philippine Consulate General in San Francisco to honor Filipino frontliners all over the world.
Mabuhay po kayo.
From the bottom of our hearts, thank you very much po, and have a good night or have a good morning. Thank you. Good night. Pinoy ako, proud ako.